Okay, so you're ready to build your new car wash. You decided what type of wash you want to operate, and you found a site, you figured out how to pay for it, you know who's going to help you with the process. Now we're ready to start construction. This video will bring you through the process step by step with an experienced operator as he begins construction of his second car wash.
Jimmy Garant operates Prestige Car Wash in South Florida. We profiled this location in past case study videos for the 2004 ICA show. Now Jimmy is taking on a new project, Prestige Exterior Wash in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Like many operators, Jimmy is taking advantage of the surge in the exterior market. Today we're going to take you behind the scenes and interview Jimmy about the process of getting started and how he chose his contractors. We'll also find out how important it is to coordinate and communicate a clear plan with the contractors, electricians, plumbers, and equipment manufacturers. Let's get started.
I think the first thing that we did was we found a good attorney in the area. I think that's critical, that you find an attorney in the area that knows how to work himself through the city and the red tape. I think that's probably critical in the beginning to find out what it's going to take to get the property zoned, if it's not already zoned for it. What are the obstacles to go through to get it rezoned or get the special exception, as they call it. And that was my first step, to find the attorney in town and do my homework with that. There's always usually one attorney in the town that knows how to get things done, and we found him and we went on board with him, and at that point he would recommend the engineer or the architect. We took it one step further and we did again our own homework, went to local car washes in the area that were fairly new, found out which architect they used, went and interviewed the architects, and we chose one that actually had built 3 car washes in the area, knew the attorney we were working with, wound up using his engineer because they did the other 3 car washes. I think it's critical to have an architect and engineer, if you can, that has car wash experience. It's just a different animal. You know, it's not like building a commercial building where it's a strip mall or an office building. There's you know, you get involved with the trench design, you get involved with the slopes. There's a lot of electrical, a lot of plumbing involved. It's not the average electrical or plumber that can go in there and he may say he understands it, but really understands it. So again, if you hook up with an architect who's done these car washes, he usually, again, our builder had done those other 3 car washes, so they have experience in building car washes. And again, through networking, you have an idea of which electricians and plumbers to hook up with, and usually the builder can guide you in that direction, but I think experience is very important.
Choosing an architect is one of the most important decisions you'll have to make in the process. Finding an architect team with a strong portfolio of industrial projects and a strong mechanical engineering team is essential. Good architects can save you thousands of dollars in overruns and change orders, so be careful.
Again, we got the architect, and when you deal with the architect, they have a lot of people that they network with, and he gave me a couple of builders to go interview. He gave me a couple engineers to go interview, and you have to take the time and do this. You have to go and sit and actually interview them and feel, if you get that gut feeling that they know what they're talking about. The only one we did not go with was the engineer who had past car wash experience. The contractor had past car wash experience, the architect did. And again, you know, the engineer struggled a little bit, to be honest with you, not having that experience. And if I was to do it again on my next car wash, I'll make sure everybody has the experience, because he was a good engineer and he put 100% effort into it, but he didn't have that experience.
Once Jimmy selected his architect, the equipment supplier got involved to make sure that the engineer who was drawing the plans had a full understanding of the mechanical requirements of the car wash.
I think Sonny's did a phenomenal job at that. They spent countless hours at no additional charge to work with my architect and my engineer. We actually had a pre-con meeting here at Sonny's in the conference room with the subcontractors. The plumber, the electrician, the contractor met here with Anthony, and we went through the plans page by page. And again, we're going to break ground today. I have to believe that that will pay off throughout the project, and the reaction from the subcontractors was great. I'm glad we got this out of the way now, because usually it's in the field and we come across this problem and we're scratching our heads, how do we solve it? When you have an opportunity to sit down with the equipment manufacturer and the contractor and the subcontractors, it's priceless.
One thing we find is that a great set of plans actually helps the potential contractor give you a better bid. The better the plans are spelled out, the more comfortable the contractor is and the smaller the cushion in the price. That's right, the more details a contractor has at his disposal, the more precise he can be in quoting you a price, which saves you a big hassle and a good bit of money.
If you have all of your equipment already nailed down in place with the proper drawings and locations, then that allows all of not only the general contractor but each of his subcontractors to put firm numbers on everything that they're bidding, and is going to give you a complete project in the end.
We went to the car washes that this contractor had built in the past, spoke to the operators, asked them if they were happy with the contractor, how was he working with, did he get the project done on time, and you know, there was approximately 3 car washes that this gentleman built, and we went to all 3 of them and spoke to those people, and we got nothing but positive feedback.
Okay, now that you have a full set of plans, you've chosen your contractor, he brought in the subs, and you have an equipment supplier ready, it's imperative to have a pre-construction meeting with all the parties involved to review the plans, to make sure everybody understands what their job is and what they should be doing. It's much cheaper to figure out all the small problems now before the concrete gets poured. You're ready to build your car wash, you've got your contractor all picked out, you've gone through the bid process, now he's got to get some information so that he can get good bids from his subs on your plumbing, electrical, the concrete work, and we need to schedule a pre-construction meeting. The pre-construction meeting will be held at a neutral point where everybody can be there. We need the owner of the property, we need the general contractor, the supervisor who's going to run the job, we need the electrical contractors that are going to bid the work. There may be more than one at this time. We also need the plumbing contractors that are going to bid, and then hopefully the concrete contractor that's going to do the conveyor trench, the block work, and we'll also need at the site the site engineer so that they can understand the setting of the reclaim tanks and be able to calculate the invert for the sewer and understand how all that goes together and ties to the conveyor trench. For Jimmy Grant's location, we used the Sonny's warehouse as our neutral point. All the subs and the contractor and Jimmy himself came down to the office. We even sat down with our engineer, Lewis, that had the full set of prints there to go over the entire site and have everybody understand what their responsibilities were, what equipment was being provided, and who was responsible for hookups, installation, and assembly. During the meeting, one of the first things that will be reviewed will be the Erection Agreement, and that's the agreement between Sonny's and the owner on what our responsibilities are in regards to erecting and setting up the equipment in the car wash tunnel. The next part we'll review will be the erection and shipment authorization. We need the contractor or the general on the job to know what the site should look like before they call us out to deliver the equipment. If we get there too early and the site's not paved and we don't have access to the building from both ends with a forklift, we certainly can't do that job effectively. What will be scheduled for 7 to 10 days may end up turning into 2 weeks, and that just is, again, a cost overrun that we don't need to have. So again, in reviewing the shipment and erection agreement authorization, everybody will understand their responsibilities prior to the truck delivering the equipment on the job site. The most important points that we're going to go through on this pre-construction meeting will be who is responsible for doing the connections of all the equipment, being it water, pneumatics, electrical controls. Make sure that everybody understands how the motor control center for the car wash is built, how the services, what size service is going to be brought into that motor control center, whether it's going to be main lug only or if the circuit breaker will be in the motor control center. All that needs to be determined at this site so that it's clear for the engineers. We've been at sites where engineers have decided to put breakers in the motor control center without notifying anybody. Then it gets approved that way because somebody misses it on a review, and that just is an entire delay in the project and a huge cost overrun, and can sometimes require to go back in to re-permit the project correctly. In the Sonny's plans, we should review the section that has the list of the equipment, where it's positioned in the tunnel, who is providing all the equipment. There is some terminology that's in there that is listed as